Hello everyone, my name is Daisy Daniel. I'm a Christian personal resilience life coach coming to you every Monday and Thursday with a impromptu reflection from the book, The Language of Letting Go. Happy to be here. For those of you that are not familiar with my work, please visit my website when you get a chance at www.mymomentslc.com. LC stands for Life Coaching. So what I like to do with these reflections is just go ahead and read it. I never know what I'm going to read. I just know the title. And then just reflect on the different parts of it. This book helps people who are codependents. We know a lot of problems stem from codependency. So we are getting started today. Hello to everyone. What we are reading today, and it is on page 138, is Letting the Cycles Flow. Letting the cycles flow. I'm imagining that it's going to be about the cycles of life, the different cycles we go through, different changes. All right, here we go. Letting the cycles flow. Life is cyclical, not static. Our relationships benefit when we allow them to follow their natural cycles. Like the tide ebbs and flows, so do the cycles in relationships. We have periods of closeness and periods of distance. We have times of coming together and times of separating to work on individual issues. Hey there, good to see you, my friend. We have times of love and joy and times of anger. Sometimes the dimensions of relationships change as we go through changes. Sometimes life brings us new friends or a new loved one to teach us the next lesson. That does not mean the old friend disappears forever. It means we have entered a new cycle. We do not have to control the course of our relationships, whether these relationships be friendships or love relationships. We do not have to satisfy our need to control by imposing a static form on relationships. Let it flow. Be open to the cycles. Love will not disappear. The bond between friends will not sever. Things do not remain the same forever, especially when we are growing and changing at such a rapid pace. Trust the flow. Take care of yourself. But be willing to let people go. Hanging on to them too tightly will make them disappear. The old adage about love still holds true. If it's meant to be, it will be. And if you love someone, let them go. If they come back to you, the love is yours. All right, and here's her prayer at the end. Today, I accept the cyclical nature of life and relationships. I will strive to go with the flow. I will strive for harmony with my own needs and the needs of the other person. All right, that was a good one. They're always good. I love all these reflections. Hopefully you're getting something out of them also. By the way, I upload these eventually to my YouTube channel and then also to the website. So if you want to look at it again, you could always look at it on the Facebook business page. They live there as well. But they're in other locations too. So feel free to share this with anyone you think could benefit. You never know what someone hears that could really change their trajectory. I know that has happened in my life with many people that God has used to help me. All right, let's now start looking at this and looking at it more closely. Life is cyclical, not static. So life does not stay the same forever. We are growing, we are changing, we are either getting better or we're getting worse. We're not going to stay the same. And our relationships, she says, benefit when we allow them to follow their natural cycles. All right, so she's talking about our relationships having a natural cycle. She's going to go into examples of that. Says, like the tide ebbs and flows, so do the cycles in relationships. She's talking about all relationships, not just intimate relationships. We have periods of closeness and periods of distance. I have experienced that. I've had to, in my journey, in the past 7 years, which my life took a dramatic change, went from being married and homeschooling and doing all this stuff as a homemaker, married for 23 years, but separated at year 19, and my life took a dramatic change. And I would say through that I lost, friendships. I lost people who questioned my motives. I lost my children who chose to stay with their dad, and many things happened in my relationships all around. I felt very alone. I still do at times, but I know that I'm where I need to be. So you're going to have periods of closeness and periods of distance with all these people. We have times of coming together and times of separating to work on individual issues. And that's an important point, because our journey is individual to us. There is work that we each have to do to be better people, better humans. And if your significant other isn't allowing you to get the counseling you need, getting the life coaching you need, whatever it is you need to do it for yourself. You need to really work on your individual issues with the help of others, and not let other people derail your mental health growth and learning. So for the periods of time where you're working on yourself, you might separate from people. Doesn't mean you don't have contact with them. It just means you need to focus on your healing. And frankly, there are people who are very dysfunctional and toxic, who would love nothing more than to see you stay the way you are, not grow. And so those kind of people, you don't reject them completely, but you realize they're not helping you, so you work on your own stuff and detach. That's part of letting go as well. And there's nothing wrong with letting go. Letting go does not mean rejecting the person. What letting go means, you are letting go of their control issues, your control issues, and you're working on yourself. That's what it means. And then she goes on to say, we have times of love and joy and times of anger. Boy, is that true. There are times of love, even through your hardest times. If you stop and you think about all that God has done in your life and the people that He has brought, the people you least expect. And, hopefully I'll do some videos about that in the future. But when I first separated, the people I expected to be there for me were not. And the people I least expected, on the bottom of the totem pole, were the ones that showed up, came through, connected with me, gave me a phone call, said, hey, how are you doing? It was amazing. It really is. And that just, to me, is just God showing me that He uses the weak things to expound the wise. Because in our minds, we think we know it all. We think, who should be loving us? Who should be accepting us? Who should be helping us with this problem? And God says, no. I'll show you who should be on your team. I'll show you who your true tribe is. It's not who you think. It's not always family. And, my definition of family has changed dramatically in the past 7 years. And I'll talk more about that on a different video. I keep getting this sign that connection is low. This has not happened to me doing a Facebook Live. So those of you that are watching, if you see it come and go, I mean, I really don't know what this video is going to look like at the end because I've never seen that pop up. So hopefully I'm still live. Send me a heart or something to see if you're hearing me right now. Hope you are. Okay. So then it says, sometimes the dimensions of relationships change as we go through changes. The dimensions of relationships change as we go through changes. What that makes me think of is that there are going to be people that are going to be triggered by your growth, and they are not going to like your growth because it shines a light on their issues, and frankly, they're not ready to work on theirs. So, you know the phrase, misery loves company? In these kind of cases, that's pretty much what it is. They want you to stay miserable with them. And when they see you growing, they'll make different comments, to you to make you feel bad about the path you're on. But that's just the dimension of the relationships changing as you go through changes. And as you become a better person, a better version of you, you will attract people that are more like you. And those that are dysfunctional, the more toxic people that you're trying to also bring along with you, because of course you want everyone to be healthy, but they don't want to come. They're not interested right now. Maybe in the future they will be, but right now they're not. And you have to let them go. That's what this whole book is about, the language of letting go, so that you could work on yourself. And if they eventually come along, that's great. Hallelujah. If they don't, just know that's part of life. Most people, a lot of people, are not interested in personal development. They're getting by day, and when they see you getting healthier, some will react, some won't. Some will ignore you and you're like, whatever. And just know that those kind of changes are normal. Sometimes life brings us new friends or a new loved one to teach us the next lesson. That's a good one. If you're suffering alone, let me just say, reach out. Find a good Facebook group that deals with what you're going through, whether it be depression, anxiety, abuse, whatever. I have found a lot of support in different Facebook groups that I'm a part of. And just with the small group of friends that I don't have a lot of close friends, but I have a good unit that understands me. And, I have a good therapist. I also have a good life coach. And reach out. Don't suffer alone, because we're not meant to suffer alone. That does not mean the old friends disappear forever. No, they won't. If they truly love you, they'll stick around. It means we have entered a new cycle. We do not have to control the course of our relationships, whether these be friendships or love relationships. Okay, control. She always goes back to control issues, because so many of our problems stem from trying to control others instead of trying to control ourselves. And we don't have to control those relationships or love relationships. When you see them getting further away from you, let them go. Let them go. If they're meant to be in your life, they will come back. It says we do not have to satisfy our need to control by imposing a static form on relationships. Static, frozen, not growing. Let it flow. Be open to the cycles. Love will not disappear. I think that's one of the major reasons. I know one of the major reasons that people stay in abusive relationships is because they fear not being loved. They fear being alone. They fear not being loved by anybody. And let me tell you, God loves you, and there are many people that love you, and that is just frankly not true. So if you're staying in an abusive relationship because you're afraid to not be loved by anybody and not be cared for, not be lonely, those things are not true. I found that to be true in my life. And I have been single now for 7 years, and I have not been lonely, not one time, honestly. I've missed my kids. That is probably where the greatest pain has stemmed from, is not having my children in my life because they went with their dad. But I have not felt lonely, and I don't need, an intimate relationship to be happy. So remember that you are loved. It says, love will not disappear. The bond between friends will not sever. Things do not remain the same forever, especially when we are growing and changing at such a rapid pace. Some people change fast, but some people don't change fast, and some people don't change. And that's something good to remember as people are going through recovery, is that everyone's on their own journey and they do it at their own pace. Trust the flow. Take care of yourself, but be willing to let people go. Again, that's very hard to do, because in our minds, letting people go, we start thinking, oh, that means we don't love them anymore and we're not going to have anything to do with them. We're going to reject them. No, that's what abusers do. We don't do that. Letting go is putting up a boundary, saying, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what I need. If you like it, great. You don't like it, that's great too. And then doing it anyway. And not letting what they do affect you. Hanging on to them too tightly will make them disappear. Yeah. They will disappear because nobody likes to be controlled. That's what they do in communist countries, socialist countries. They control the people. And it doesn't work, And then the old adage about love still holds true. If it's meant to be, it will be. And if you love someone, let them go. If they come back to you, the love is yours. That's a nice adage, but here's the thing. When you're dealing with abuse and you're dealing with people who are narcissistic, they don't necessarily change. A very small percentage of them never change, and they never own up to what they've done and what they do, which means they will never come back in a pure way, because they think you're the problem. You are the problem, not them. So I guess you could look at it as that they never loved you. They don't come back because they can't admit wrong. Or if they do love you, why are they acting that way? Why wouldn't they fix their problems and try to fix the relationships around them? It's a very good question to ask. All right, and then the prayer at the end says, today I accept the cyclical nature of life and relationships. I will strive to go with the flow. And remember, recovery is one day at a time. So today, say to yourself, I'm going to go with the flow. I'm not going to control people. I'm going to work on myself. I will strive for harmony with my own needs. That's beautiful. Harmony with your own needs. And the needs of the other person. So, as you could help others, do it. But not at your expense. Not in a codependent way. Do it in a natural way. Very good. All right. Before I open it up, if there's anyone that wants to say anything, we could continue this conversation. The topic for Monday is going to be loving ourselves unconditionally. That is a big theme in this book. Self-love, loving yourself, because codependents, frankly, don't do it. They don't know how, and they need A lot of help with that. So that's going to be next week. So is there anything anybody would like to say about this topic? We could talk about it more. If you hear this on the replay, leave comments. I will respond to them. I always check. And I know these topics aren't always easy to talk about, but it's real life, guys. It's real life, and I do want to bring this kind of awareness because all of this stuff are things that are also tied to abuse. Why do you let yourself be abused in the first place? Codependency. And so all of this, everything with the 12 steps, all forms of addictions, whether it's abusing someone else, someone abusing you, or you abusing yourself. Control is always at the base. And then codependency also. All right. Well, I guess that's going to be it for today. I'm going to sign off. I hope you all have a great day. It's a beautiful day here in sunny Florida. I'm going to go for a walk a little later. Take care of yourselves, love yourselves, and you do you, boo. All right. God bless. Bye.